Okay, hello everybody and welcome to the next game of DelotA Esports Amateur Tournament, DelotA. We have today RIP versus Jambo and we are actually on time. I'm just going to see if everybody is ready. Hopefully everyone is and we can go. Yep, once again, webcam, yay. Hello everybody. I am going to be joined by Vague as normal. And I don't know what's going on with my volume, but oh well. Hopefully everything will be fine. Everything is ready and we are going to go. Excellent. Okay. I've not actually casted a single game by RIP before. I have casted Jambo before and they were always a fun and pleasure to cast, so hopefully this game will be no different. RIP had some lag issues in the first game, in the first round, if I remember correctly, so hopefully they will have resolved themselves in this game. But if not, we can sort it out for them pretty easily. I wasn't there for that game, so I couldn't really do anything about it. In approximately 10 seconds, you will no longer see me, and you will see the game. Hopefully 10 seconds. Depends on how slow my load is going to be. Oh, it's normally not this slow. I see we have quite a few viewers actually. Hello, all the live viewers. I can see how many of you there are. This is fantastic. And you will no longer have to see me anymore because I am flicking over to the big stage. I'm actually muted, so I'm going to have to very quickly change that so that they can hopefully hear me now. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Hello everyone and welcome to... Sorry. Hello everyone and welcome to Jambo versus Habibi now. But actually RIP. We have the band's already starting and I'm just going to pass over to JD.
Yeah, this is RIP, not Habibi. They've just decided to call that as a name. Very first, quick first bans, should I say. They know exactly what they want to get rid of. 4 mid-heroes immediately dropping, probably for the 4 strongest mid-heroes in the game. Obviously, Magnus and Templar Assassin are ridiculously strong, and Batrider Invoker picking that up. And how do you expect Jambo to play this after seeing what they did the other day against... who were they playing yesterday? Whoever they were playing yesterday.
It was Imber.
They were playing Imber Battle.net, of course, yes. How do you expect the lineup to look compared to yesterday?
Well, I reckon they won't go for the same lineup because it just didn't work. I mean, they went for a similar tactic again yesterday. They had, again, the Magnus ban as their straight first ban again. They had, obviously they had a lot of struggle with Flinks last time. They had a Windrunner in the first game and then they dropped her and that ended up going against them. So I'm really unsure at the moment as to what they're going to do, but it's interesting to see them use Darkseer again. Did quite well with them yesterday, and I'm just interested to see, now it's an official match, exactly what they'll try and do with it. But what are you going to say? Disruptor, Tidehunter. I mean, it looks like it's already going to make a very strong Tidehunter hard lane and Disruptor as support in the tri-lane. What do you think?
It seems that might be one of the cases. I've also seen Tidehunters being used just to stack and pull very recently. He's quite good in any role. He doesn't really need that levels. Obviously, it's very nice to get him the Ravage as early as possible, but it doesn't really need it. He has a really nice slow and nuke on his gush, so hopefully that'll be enough. And the Darkseer, I like that how they've carried on using the Darkseer, even though it didn't quite work out for them yesterday. And they're also going to go for Keeper of the Light like yesterday. I like how they're sticking with the heroes they know, and they're just playing their game, and they're not getting too worried about what happened yesterday, and they're just going to try and correct their actual play as opposed to their picks, because I think their picks were okay.
Yeah, it seems that they're going for the very similar picks. Again, Keeper of the Light and Nyx were both seen yesterday. It seems they do love/fear this Nyx especially, and they do have a Disruptor, so hopefully, Disruptor is somebody who does get kills, unfortunately, even when they don't want you to, because their ultimate just ends up destroying people, as well as those last hit Qs in the early game, which just dominates. So I'm thinking the Disruptor might get fed. He's obviously going to try and go for as many intelligence-related support items as possible. Nyx might have an advantage there, but again, picking him so early when there's only one intelligence hero on RIP's team is just going to probably, RIP. Habibi is confusing me. RIP's team, it seems like it's just going to stop them picking any more intelligence hero, and I don't know if that's their plan. It just seems like it's a bit of a hasty pick for such a counter hero.
Yeah,
No.
it does.
What do
It
you
does
think?
lock out a few very strong support heroes. So heroes such as Jakiro just aren't particularly viable while there's a Nyx, because Nyx is extremely good at ganking, and especially Enchantress and Chen. Enchantress and Chen are pretty much out of the pool now, because as soon as Nyx gets to his level 6, he can just walk into the jungle and he can just pick them off every single time, easy peasy, and get ridiculous amount of farms. So they're kind of limiting what RIP have to kind of go for. So they've decided to go for like the Undying instead as their support hero for their tri-lane, which is a really good pick. He's obviously extremely tanky, so that's particularly good against Nyx Assassin, but he's also a very, very strong tri-lane hero.
Radiant team ban.
Obviously, we have that hideous gravestone, meaning everything Jambo will have to contend with. We have Darkseers. Ion Shell would be fantastic against those in a big build-up, because you'd just be able to dispose of reasonably quickly, although it would be nice just to have a quick AoE, get rid of everything, and Keeper's great for that, although the charge isn't as necessarily useful as possible. But with the three of them just banning now, Phantom Lancer, somebody who caused Jambo great trouble yesterday when they tried to fight against him. This one Phantom Lancer from Imber Battle.net managed to completely turn around the game because he just got uninterrupted farm despite a Darkseer trying his hardest on Jambo's team to try and keep him down, and I think they've learned their lesson from that. Meanwhile, Habibi banning Chaos Knight, something that's, I suppose, could have gone to their advantage considering it's Assassin's ban. You know, Wisp and a Chaos Knight combination is always ridiculously strong, but then Leshrac and Chaos Knight is the ideal choice, and Leshrac being intelligence, you don't really want to pick someone that powerful.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean, because the Chaos Knight ban I think was to just try and limit Jambo's early game, because they do have a ridiculously strong early game at the moment with Nyx Assassin and maybe the Keeper of the Light. So the Chaos Knight with his ridiculously long stun at early levels, and as soon as he gets an armlet, he does a ridiculous amount of damage. Doesn't scale particularly well into the late game, but his early game force is absolutely ridiculous. So there was some sort of reason why that they decided to take that ban, and Jambo have actually gone and banned Clinks after seeing that Clinks absolutely destroyed them yesterday on that off lane.
Yeah, they did it yesterday as well, and then they didn't really pick Windrunner, which I thought they were going to do, because it seems like Jambo are quite comfortable using the hero. They did really, Harry from Jambo did really fantastically yesterday when who isn't in this game, unfortunately, today, but he did fantastically. It would be really interesting to see him play it again. However, that Clinks ban could mean they're going for Windrunner like they did before. I don't see it, though. I think they're going to go for more of a strategic ban. Naga now being banned as well by RIP. Again, a really strong carry who's amazing in the early game. It looks like RIP is focused on removing all of that early game now because they have such a strong one to begin with. Faceless Void, obviously, a standard pick to ban. You cannot have a Void around because he just gets across fifth, and with a team around him, he'll just get all the kills.
Yeah, especially with a Disruptor. The magnetic field coming down and then locking everyone in place for the Void Chronosphere is a little bit of a nasty little combo. So there's a nice little there's a nice reason they banned that. The Anti-Mage getting banned out. A lot of carries getting banned out. They obviously don't like to see a lot of carries, but interestingly, once again, not a Sven being banned, and Jambo have actually decided to go for Lifestealer instead. Like they did before, they're just... No one seems to be particularly comfortable with Sven in this tournament at the moment. I don't think I've actually seen a Sven, so it's really interesting to note.
Yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen an actual Sven, and it's really interesting because Sven at the moment is so strong. I mean, he's a very viable hero. You've got that Q being able to stun in an AoE. Teams are often very close together in these kind of situations. In a tri-lane, you'd assume it was one of the best picks you could get, as well as obviously being strength. He's a very strong counter to everything. The best counter against him is a Slardar, and you almost never see him. So it seems like a logical, maybe a fifth pick. We could still see him.
Yeah, this is true. I will say that Sven is probably the best carry in the game at the moment. There's probably no denying it. It's between him and Faceless Void. So the fact that no one has decided to actually pick up a Sven in this tournament, we've seen a few Faceless Voids, is extremely surprising. But as we said, there is still chance to see one. Although Jambo are now looking probably for their third tri-lane hero. They're actually going to pick up Tinker instead. So it looks like they're going to run the Nyx Assassin with the Keeper of the Light, supporting the Lifestealer. Tinker will probably go mid, and they will have the Darkseer on the off lane, as you would expect. And now we're just going to see how RIP react to that.
Yeah, obviously Tinker, amazing.
Oh, there it is.
Early game. They've got that ridiculous strong early playful keep up. Meanwhile, it's really strange to see Queen of Pain chosen by RIP, considering how strongly focused on intelligence she is.
Yeah.
When we have a Nyx assassin, it's the ultimate counter, and she's so squishy.
But
let's switch to JD to cover the Radiant.
Indeed, I will go over the Radiant team now. This is going to be RIP. We're going to have Afterlife on the Disruptor. We're going to have Bugs Bunny on the... I love that name. On Gondar, or Bounty Hunter, should I say. We're going to have Joey on the Undying. We're going to have Kinky on the Tide Hunter, and Daffy Duck will be taking up the Queen of Pain.
Meanwhile, on the Dire for Jambo, much like yesterday, we have Coco and the Lifestealer. We have Grub, and we'll call him Grub for now, on the Darkseer. We have Acid on Tinker and Phaler Moon on Keeper of the Light, and finally Highlight on Nyx Assassin.
Excellent. So, as we can see at the moment, it does look like they're going to lane as I predicted they would. Although Nyx Assassin's got the wards, so that's why he's walking down off lane. He'll probably be transferring them, and yes, there we go. One thing I would like to know is that even though it does look like the massive team fight, you have to give it to RIP with the Disruptor, the Undying, and the Tide Hunter, not to mention the Queen of Pain ulti that can be thrown in and catch 1 or 2 heroes. But they don't, apart from Gondar, Bounty Hunter, they don't have much in the way of late game, and a Lifestealer will destroy a Bounty Hunter on equal farm in the late game. So they're going to have to really rely on this track gold to get as much money as they can, and try and get that Bounty Hunter ahead of the game, really, because they really need him to be there.
Yeah, definitely. I do have to say that I think they're going as strongly to try and counter-push this as possible. Obviously, Jambo have great push with Tinker being able to just, provided he gets fed, port around the map with the boots of travel and just really destroy any of those towers. However, to have Gondar being able to invis is great. We have already then Jambo trying to cover that with Phaler Moon having sentry wards, not yet placing them yet, obviously no fear of them yet. Looks like Joey will be hard laning as Undying against Lifestealer, Nyx, and Keeper of the Light. Meanwhile, we have the obvious Darkseer choice as Grobian against Tide Hunter, Gondar being supported by Tide and Disruptor.
Yeah, I found that quite interesting actually, how they decided to put Gondar on the safe lane and not run him as an off lane hero. So they're actually going to run him as a main carry. He's not going to be used to. He's not going to be used for his track. He's going to be used for the amount of damage he can pull out in this late game if he gets a lot of farm. So they're going to leave him there to get as much farm as possible while they support him, and they're going to run him more like you would expect a hard carry to be run. So expect Battle Furies and other such crazy items coming out of Bugs Bunny this game, and it should be a good one.
Yeah, it's a very safe choice. I mean, Bounty Hunter's damage... Oh, the game has already been paused, and it's unclear as to why. I'm sure we'll be cleared up now.
Yeah, I think there's just... Okay, there was just a little bit of an error that needed to be taken care of. Can you say something before you pause?
Okay. Well, yeah, of course, it is quite safe having him as a main character. He does so much damage. I mean, he really can pretty much out-damage. And again, he's a great counter to Lifestealer, considering he hasn't got the highest health, so Lifestealer won't be able to get out as much damage on him. And Bounty Hunter's damage, with the ability to invis as well in between, Lifestealer will be a bit stuck as to what he can do, especially if Bounty Hunter gets him out-carried, and especially if he catches him off his guard, which often happens with a Lifestealer. You get confident and you end up getting in a bad situation.
Yeah, especially with the free Shadow Blade that you can get off the Shadow Walk. It is a ridiculously cost-effective spell, but giving bonus damage of 120 at its final iteration. But I would like to point out this battle going on in mid, and you have to admit that Acid is kind of ruling the show against Daffy Duck in middle, and it actually looks like he might go for a little bit of a dive. But yeah, this Queen of Pain is going to have a lot of trouble from the burst damage coming out from Tinker, because the Tinker harass is just absolutely ridiculous, and so he's got his bottle now, so he can keep his mana up, and there we go, actually draws first blood with a little bit of a combo, and just insta-death for Queen of Pain. As I was talking about it, that combo she's just so weak in middle that there's not much she can do about it.
That was absolutely fantastic to see. Obviously, he's already got bottle. He's dominating the farm in mids with 10 lost hits and 7 denies. He's really on that, with Queen of Pain only having 1. She's just not being able to compete against this Tinker. At top, we have Undying. Looks like he's in a bit of a stuck.
It looks like Undying's going to get caught out.
Radiant's
It
middle
loo-
I
Yep.
think he's been caught. Lifestealer has caught him, but is he going to tower dive? He's
Lifestealer's
being
died,
chased
he
around the
used the
tower.
rage, and there's the kill. That was very close actually. Yeah. Coco was getting quite low on HP after that little encounter.
It's quite a shame he didn't actually get the kill considering how much he died for it, but the great thing is that actually they did manage to pick it up. I was a bit worried they weren't going to pick that up there. But obviously Keeper of the Light came in at just the right time. Joey instantly back with a port. So he's clearly just trying to stay in as much as possible. Being a melee, he can be caught out by them. He's just going to have to be extremely careful.
Yeah, he's not going to be getting a lot of XP on that lane. I think he kind of has to live with that realization now that if he doesn't get above level 3 that he's at now for another 3 or 4 minutes, and that's absolutely fine as long as he doesn't die, he's not going to be able to limit the farm. And look at Daffy Duck getting killed again by Acid in mid. The combo from Tinker just doing a ridiculous amount of damage and just almost insta-killing her. One right click after the combo and she was dead. They're going to really have to start doing something about this Tinker because he's going to be looking for his boots of travel pretty soon. I think he's actually decided to go for a Soul Ring, and I think he's already picked it up. He has already picked it up, so yeah, this is looking interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's already got his bottle, he's already got his boots of speed, and almost 1,000 gold. There's no doubt that he's going for this. I think he's going for a boots of travel. I don't see a Soul Ring anywhere in sight. Where is it? Probably going with the courier. Yes, he is picking it up, but still with that money already in hand, it looks like Boots of Travel are going to be in almost a buy that we'll see maybe within 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Daffy Duck's struggling a lot, but we can't see many people going for him. Obviously, Bugs Bunny were waiting for him to become a stronger level to probably have his ultimate so that they can track a bit faster, a bit of a higher level with his Shuriken Toss, and they probably will be able to catch out that Tinker. But with this excellent play from Acid, it'll be interesting to see how that falls out.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give Tinker a lot of levels and farm in the early game because he can really snowball quite ridiculously. And you can see that he's bottled his Invis runes, so he's going to be looking to just walk around the map now and maybe pick off a few free easy kills and get those boots of travel as fast as he can. And as soon as he gets them, there's not much that RIP are going to be able to do about it. They're just going to have to try and contain the lanes, keep someone on each lane at all times, and that really limits their team fight.
I think RIP may have learned, Daffy Duck definitely has learned, staying as far back as possible. Every time Tinker now comes near to Q and W, the second she's been queued, she just keeps blinking away, keeping that bottle as much as she can, being very conservative.
We might see something now. Daffy Duck just popped the Invis runes, so Daffy Duck does not know that he's there, and this looks like if the combo pulls off, it's going to be almost an insta-kill, although they do notice the ping has come out, and Daffy Duck actually just runs straight back behind the tower, so I think he might have just walked in slightly into tower range and got spotted by Daffy Duck. He's going to pop the combo anyway and see if he can get the kill. He's not quite close enough, but it did seem like it did seem like he wandered maybe a little bit too far forward there, and Daffy Duck was a little bit more aware than Tinker was maybe hoping.
Fortunately, with Queen of Pain's level up, she just has enough health to be able to escape it. Maybe get one prod in from Tinker. If Tinker was able to get that 3 prods in, she's guaranteed dead. But with that health now, as she's leveling up, it looks like Tinker's going to struggle without being able to completely just lock her down, and her not blinking.
There we go.
Well, I take my words back. Obviously, Acid is having absolutely no trouble just going through. He's got a double damage. I can't wait to see what he does with this. He's already popped it, and it looks like he's just going to be using it for farm.
Yeah, he's just going to be using it for farm, just to get his mana back up on his, using his bottle charges, get his mana back up, waiting for the next rune and going picking that up when he can, because he has pure rune control now. Queen of Pain can't really contest her, she'll just die to the combo. And Acid's making sure of that by using his bottle, getting his mana up, making sure that Queen of Pain can't come near him, just because of the threat of that instant death that she receives as soon as she gets close.
Yeah, if we look at the last hits and downs, we already have Bounty Hunter getting really quite nice and fed. He's got 39 last hits already, 7 minutes into the game. That's fantastic. Meanwhile, Darkseer not really doing a bad job considering of countering him. He's got 16 last hits, he's just racking them up. Oh, yes we do, yes we do, yes we do.
Joey's been caught out very slightly, but no, he did manage to back away. I'm sorry to interrupt, it did look like this, it looked like they might have caught him.
That's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, he has escaped, but just by the skin of his teeth. That was great play by Joe to be able to escape it. Tide Hunter
and now back in mid.
They've now switched.
Oh, Daffy Duck escaping. with the skin of her teeth using the blink. It actually looked like I thought she died. I thought the death animation had been triggered, but it was actually just her blink animation, leaving the red puff of smoke behind, and that was very, very good timing to be able to get away from that, and also quite a little bit lucky, but we'll let her off.
But it looks like that might not escape. Oh no, she has successfully blinked away, but as you can see, Acid has complete rune control. He's grabbed a double damage rune, an invis rune, and an illusion rune so far. It's being able to keep his bottle being up, and it stops Queen of Pain from regenerating her health, which she needs. She's just going to have to keep getting herself filled up with the courier herself. Oh goodness gracious, forgive me, Top. They have complete domination up there. Joey has been caught out, and now they're just pushing the tower. They've already got it down to only 500 health, so it's great to see how far they're pushing it with just this. Looks like now a 2-on-2, but with Nyx Assassin so far back, it looks like he's just been going to try and regenerate some health and mana.
Yeah, and the Nyx Assassin going straight for the Hand of Midas, so we know where he's going pretty much immediately, and he's going to be going for the late game as much as possible, and they're having such a lovely time against Joey on this top lane. As I missed it, but Tinker did pick off the kill against Queen of Pain in mid again, so Acid is already 4-0, so he's having an absolute lovely time already with his Boots of Travel and his Soul Ring that we'll be giving to him very, very soon. So the 9-minute Boots of Travel Soul Ring on the Tinker with only 34 last hits after 10 minutes. That's pretty insane.
And as you said, Joey really has had a hard time. I mean, only one last hit up here. Obviously, he's going to struggle, but that is complete domination by Jambo.
Yeah, it's going so badly for them. They've actually had to swap the Tide Hunter up and leave the Bounty Hunter down on the off lane, almost completely unsupported, while the two support heroes go and do whatever they can to try and take the game back to Jambo. So
just have to point out, Joey's about to die. Nyx Assassin and Lifestealer, but Keeper of the Lights Q. Keeper of the Lights Q just comes straight in. Always Keeper of the Lights Q.
Yeah, what good is a Keeper of the Light if he's not going to steal a few kills?
Exactly, and with 2 already, it seems like he's doing a great job of it. Of course, he just does get fed in Keeper ends up with some great support items. We have Tide giving a little bit of harass, but it's just not enough. Lifestealer being able to just steal it back after a few prods.
Yeah, but one thing that is quite important is his Tide Hunter is now at level 5, so he's very, very close to getting his Ravage, and as soon as he has that Ravage up, there's going to be a bit of a problem for them. But Coco's decided to just go straight for the Tide Hunter, pops the Ravage, pops the Rage, there's no way they're going to catch him. And it looks like Kinky might actually just get away by the skin of his teeth. He does manage to, and Coco has to back out as that tower does a lot of damage to him. And actually, Joey's decided to just come straight in, trade a little bit of harass with Coco, but that means absolutely
so to point out, I have to just point out bottom we had, Daffy Duck was just trying to fight against Acid, had just ported in and tried to attack Queen of Pain. Daffy Duck, Queen of Pain, has a double damage rune but not been able to use it because Acid just comes in wherever Queen of Pain goes and tries to look for Acid, and Queen of Pain just about to meet, and wondering...
And the blink just in time to not let the heat-seeking missiles track her. That's pretty good timing, and now you can see this power of Tinker just hiding in the forest, recharging, porting back to base, coming back in, spamming those March of the Machines down by the tower, and Bugs Bunny just being forced away again and again.
Yeah, Darkseer hasn't actually done bad in here, considering how obviously it's a big strain when you've got a Gondar being able to just, invis, attack you. They have a lot of ganking potential, and it hasn't actually gone through. It's Gondar bottom lane getting no kills at all in a tri-lane. Darkseer is obviously great at escape, but they had the potential to get a few kills. Nyx Assassin could have... forgive me, that is completely wrong. We had the potential for Disruptor to obviously trap the Darkseer, but it looks like no dice. He's just been too escaping, and he's managed to get a decent farm in the hard lane, which is great to see.
And Joey just continuing to die against this Nyx Assassin on the long lane. He's having absolutely no love. It's been such a troublesome game for him against this Nyx Assassin. It's quite a shame to see because he's such a powerful hero, but if he gets locked down in the early game, he just becomes completely useless.
Looks like Bugs Bunny is trying to look for Nyx Assassin to gank. He's going for it, But is he going to go? No, he's given up on
Doesn't
that.
want to.
And a good idea too.
Yeah.
With 4 of their heroes around, it would be really quite foolish to try and go in on that. Although it'd be great to see, maybe they're going to try and group up and see what they can do around it. Maybe they're going to try and counter push. It looks like they've all met in the middle. Keeper of the Light has been trapped by disruptors. He's got his ultimate down. That's
Daffy Duck's
silence
come in with
disrupt.
the ultimate.
Daffy Duck's ultimate perfect, but it's not going to save him against Queen of Pain. But Bonda fortunately gets the kill. That's the first kill he's got this game. They have the potential to just turn around and stop this Lifestealer. Obviously, now JAMBO is up. He can do that, and he does. Perfect play by Bounty Hunter, Bugs
pick up
Bunny
Joey on the
there.
back.
Tide Hunter,
Radiant's bottom tower is
a nice escape by Tinker, just perfectly getting away, which is great to see because he hasn't died once. 5-0.
Yeah, he knew that there was no stun coming in from RIP, so he knew that he could afford just to use the boots of travel and get away in his own pleasant time, and he would be absolutely fine with it. But that was a really nice, well orchestrated fight by JAMBO. It looked like the Queen of Pain had done the damage at the beginning with her ulti and the screen, but they managed to pull it around, and this Lifestealer, even though he died, it's just got such a ridiculous amount of farm. He didn't even have his armlet in that fight, and he has an armlet in his stash, so he's going to be an absolute house to try and bring down and kill. He's already diving towers solo to get kills, so he's going to be even more troublesome for them now.
And great choreo work there by JAMBO, actually. Considering a team fight just started, they managed to send him in the middle of the trees right near the secret shop, so he's completely out of range as he was being prodded down, which looked like the entire start of the original team fight. And now it looks like Lifestealer may be going in. He has been surged and ion shelled by the Darkseer. He has open wounded Tide Hunter ultimate to try and get away, but it's not going to be enough. Is he going to? Yes, he has. Tinker has turned. Queen of Pain has turned around, and obviously being so squishy, just the burst from all 5 of them isn't enough. We have now Disruptor and Undying turtling around the tower, but all 5 of JAMBO are just staying right there in the jungle. They know they're there. They're not trying to hide. They're saying, hey, I'm here. I'm just going to be here. Lifestealer can just go in the jungle. He's got his full feast, so he's just going to get up his health in the... He's got armlet. He will just armlet juggle, get his health up, and wait to go back in there and attack again.
fortified.
Yeah, and the fact that Tinker could just stand in the back lines and continually spam this combo, port back to base, come back in and spam it again, is just hurting them so much. They can't get anywhere near any of the towers without just getting instantly burned down by this Tinker with his laser and his heat-seeking missiles. It's just doing so much damage to pretty much the entire team. Even the Tide Hunter can't really take many hits off of it. He's only sitting on 900 HP, and this Tinker does probably about 500 off each combo. So they've actually managed to catch Bugs Bunny out in the trees completely unaware. He manages to get the Ghost walk away and Shadow walk away. I apologise, and just walk away. not Invoker, and just walk away from it. So we also have a Highlight now trying to chase down Afterlife, coming up to the tier 1 tower. Afterlife is actually going to be able to see him, but Tinker teleports onto the lane with his boots of travel and secures the kill after the stun comes up. Really nice coordination, a nice team play. They knew exactly what each other were doing, and they acted accordingly.
JAMBO has had absolute control over here. Obviously mid lane, top lane, all lanes have been pushed down to just the second tier tower with RIP not being able to take a single one. It's going to take them some real coordination to try and take out, and the best thing they can do is just take out this Lifestealer who has been destroying through their team. But Bugs Bunny, we have a hope with him. He's got Hand of Midas. Oh, no, he does not. I'm looking at the wrong person, forgive me. He's building up everything he can. It looks like he's trying to build a Yasha as well as having a Claymore.
It looks like
he's got some decent farm.
No, maybe not. I was about to say, it looks like we might be seeing the start of a little bit of a team fight, but it doesn't look like we are. It looks like they're just forming around. They've given up this tier 2, and it looks like they're just going to form around and try and protect this tier 3 from getting knocked down, because they can't afford to lose tier 3 at this early stage.
We have Tinker just constantly teasing them with March of the Machines. It must be so frustrating to block off such a huge area of map.
Here we go, though.
It stops them from coming
is
into
running
the
straight into the middle. He has the Ravage. The Ravage gets popped and it actually catches 4 of them. But on the back of it, Nyx Assassin's actually going to manage to take down Afterlife. Full Moon Jambo's just going to get away on a little bit of HP. And now we see Daffy Duck having to run away just from the Ion Shell. Not even any proc damage. And look at the Lifestealer's damage. He's instantly killing them all. I thought I saw a Dagon come out from the Tinker. I did. He's managed to get his Dagon up now. Daffy Duck doesn't have a lot of mana and doesn't actually have the blink up yet. She's going to have it in 1 second. So Coco's just going to back off. But a really nice fight for JAMBO. Manages to take down 4 of them. the wall particularly effective for Jambo, actually managing to put them all on extremely low HP, and then Coco just walked straight in and just did the rest of the damage. It was pretty ridiculous proc damage coming off of this lifesteal, especially at this early stage, just off of an armlet, power treads in the hand of Midas.
Absolutely fantastic play. It was just nuke city everywhere. It was fantastic to see DelotA escape from that, considering how determined lifestealers seemed to be to get him. But obviously all of RIP are back up now. It seems like they're really trying, and they did manage to. So it wasn't the end of the world. It's a bit of a shame that they got caught out that strongly.
Yeah. Yeah, they got caught slightly out of position. The Tidehunter went for the big Ravage, and he actually managed to cap 4 of them. But they just didn't notice the Nyx Assassin, who was sat invisible directly behind them and stunned pretty much the entire team as soon as the Tide Ravage had been popped, so they couldn't utilize it. And the Nyx Assassin soloed the Afterlife on Disruptor before anything else could even happen. So it was pretty unfortunate that had to happen at that early stage, and they didn't notice the Nyx Assassin behind them. But it was really, really nice coordination and play by Jambo. They knew exactly where they needed to be. They stood in the right spaces, and they got it right once again.
Top tower is under attack.
It looks like we're going to have... Sorry, I didn't mean to ping there. It looks like we're going to have Disruptor trying a little bit to get them, but it might be a little bit dangerous. We have them... he is controlling them. He is managing to keep away, and obviously his kinetic field means that he can quite safely prod. But now everybody is coming up. It looks like a team fight is just brewing, and Keeper of the Light starting his queue up to start. Everybody is going in.
Yeah,
we have Disruptor missing
now.
Only Coco so fed now. He doesn't need to worry. This prods are barely doing any damage from the tower. Tinker already rearming, he doesn't have a problem, he's just using everything that has got a Blink Dagger, Soul Ring, Dagon. He's just the king of burst at the moment, and Daffy Duck caught out again from so much. Nyx Assassin combined it with the Keeper of the Light, he just couldn't manage to escape there, and it looks like they may be able to take top tower.
Ravage comes out though, and actually it does pretty much nothing, and the Keeper of the Light pretty much instantly kills him with the Tinker. The problem is that Jambo have so much burst damage, there's almost no way that with the weak, fragile lineup that RIP have, there's almost no way they can survive the beginning of the team fight. As you see, Tinker just walks in and puts 2 heroes immediately on half HP, and they actually almost go for Bugs Bunny, but he manages to just get away with the Shadow Walk and picks off Nyx Assassin, who was tracked in the background. So that was a nice little bit of play by the Bounty Hunter. But now
they've got
Coco, he's on no HP, but armlet toggling, managing to keep him alive. Great play by Coco, actually managing to get all those kills. He does get brought down eventually though by the Tide Gush, but Tide is now just going to fall. He's in no man's land, and Acid has the burst damage to take him down.
That was again a great bit of kind of re-spark in the competition there. We have Gondar just doing so much damage whenever he tries to come in, managing to escape most of the time, and that is what's key. I mean, unfortunately they have taken down the barracks here. It's going to take an awful lot for IAP to try and recover from this now. But it's great to see them at least trying to take out Lifestealer and succeeding. It's just unfortunate. He is so farmed at this point. 11 kills. I mean, 91 last hits. He's not going to be going very far. And a Skull Basher, he's just being able to skull lock everyone away. With that armlet toggle, it's looking a very challenging fight to try and get any kind of hold on him.
Yeah, I would like to point out Tinker's item build. He is going for the Ethereal Blade Dagon ultra burst damage build, so he is definitely going to be building up his Ethereal Blade now, and that's going to be exceptionally fun to see him dive into the enemy base, into the enemy spawn point, in fact, to just get as many kills as possible. If you have a look at the levels as well, only Bounty Hunter is even close to anyone on Jambo's team. I mean, we see the Tinker level 16 and Lifestealer level 15, and the only person closest is Bounty Hunter on 12. Everyone else is under 10. And with the amount of burst damage they're bringing out, that's a really real big problem for RIP.
But this is again all down to how powerful Tinker was in the early game. It's completely disabled Queen of Pain.
And look at Tinker going in again. He did just completely burst down Disruptor from 100 to 0 in about 3 seconds using his combo that he can just keep using again and again. But it looks like Bugs Bunny gets caught out by that Dagon. He pops the Ghost Scepter so he couldn't get hurt, and then just gets another kill. Kinky just walks straight in, tries to ravage, but Nice spot by Coco, manages to pop the rage and dodge it, and then they just secure another kill, and it's looking really, really bad for RIP now.
It's just so unfortunate for RIP. Keep going back, they keep going after Lifestealer, but Coco's health regeneration, even with an armlet on, he's just managing to keep up after them, and every time they come near, Tidehunter obviously being so tanky, Undying being so tanky, anytime those two heroes come near, it's just an extra little health boost for him at the moment. They're going to take a lot of CC to try and handle it, but as of... Oh, that burst is insane. Blink Dagger, Ethereal Blade, QW, Dagon, and a rearm if he misses them. Not that that chance will ever happen with how powerful this is.
Yeah, this is going so ridiculously well. The Static Storm does a little bit of damage to them all, but again, it's not really doing anything. They already have a pipe up so on the Darks here, so even the Static Storm was doing no damage. There's almost nothing they can do against this Jambo team, who are leading on almost everything. As the Disruptor walks into his doom as Nyx Assassin was tracking him directly behind him. We might see a Tinker dive. Is Tinker going to dive into the spawn and pop the Ghost Scepter?
It looks like he's not going to, but it looks like Bounty Hunter may actually catch Keeper of the Light. He's trying to track him as best as he can, but he did just manage to recover all of his health. He doesn't have any kind of stun. He has managed to stop the TP scroll, and it looks like Phelan is going to die from there. That's great play from both Bunny. He's just been lurking, trying to get the kills.
Unfortunately, that Gondar Keeper of the Light action missed the Tinker the Tinker spawn point dive that I knew was coming. He got the double kill, diving into the spawn. But unfortunately, I missed it. I really do apologise to. I really do apologise that I completely missed that. That would have been pretty fun to watch, but we got to see a kill instead, so it's fine.
Let's go to it. Tinker is obviously the very one to watch in this game. 18 kills to only 1 death. He's been fantastic throughout. It's been great to see him being so utilised into this ridiculous damage machine. And he's just so hard to catch.
Yeah, you have to say that Jambo are definitely looking more on form today than they were yesterday. And that Tinker burst damage is ridiculous. And it looks like we might actually have to look out for this Tinker in the rest of this tournament, because again the burst damage comes out and he's going to secure another kill for his team. And it looks like Jambo really know how to play this Tinker well. And if there a triple ultra kill for the Tinker. Is he going to go for the rampage? Is he going to go for the spawn point rampage? He isn't. He's just going to TP home.
I do hope they are. Oh.
He's just TPing home. But it was really, really well played by Jambo this game. And he is going for the rampage. There it is! The Tinker rampage comes and pops the Ghost Scepter to get out. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's but yeah, it'll be really interesting to see whether Jambo continue this tactics. This is the first time they've played Tinker in this tournament, and they seem to absolutely love it.
Seems RIP are taking it a little bit rough, so Queen of Pain blaming herself. It wasn't her fault, it's just Tinker's so powerful. One of the very last picks against one of the very first. It just was unfortunate. They didn't see it coming, and Tinker being such a strong hero and so well played by Jambo. We did not see this coming, especially with yesterday no even hint of the hero. But fantastic to see from him. Obviously great play by Lifestealer, but Tinker here stealing the show.
There's something I didn't notice in that game. It didn't actually. I don't think it popped up for me, but if you can have a look at the Lifestealer, he has a Divine Rapier at the end of the game. That's how comfortable he was and how confident he was that he just wasn't going to die. And true to form, he didn't die, and he kept the Rapier the entire time. So really, really well played by Jambo. I'm looking forward to seeing them. But where do we have to look at RIP to see where they can improve from this? The picks were a little bit off for them. I mean, they picked the Titan around the Undying. They needed to only really choose one. One of them's a really, really strong off-lane hero, but you can't really run Tidehunter in the off-lane in this sort of meta. He'll just get destroyed way, way, way too quickly.
Yeah, and even when you move up Tidehunter to help with Undying, both of them are still melee. They're still going against the Keeper of the Light. They're still going against Lifestealer, who is a much stronger melee against those kind of both tanky heroes. Unfortunately, the picks were just a little bit nicer by Jambo, a little bit more countering, and picking Queen of Pain was just a surprise.
It did surprise me pretty heavily, especially seeing that they already had the Nyx, and then the Tinker pick straight after. They knew exactly what they wanted to do if a Queen of Pain actually got chosen. They knew they weren't going to run the Queen of Pain on the off lane because they didn't have a mid hero. So there was only one way RIP was going to run that, and Jambo had the answer for it.
And again, how powerful was that answer?
It was pretty ridiculous. It was completely insane.
It's just been fantastic to see, and I cannot wait for the next game tomorrow, which I believe is Enemy Intelligence versus... Oh, I don't believe my memory has served me that well.
Maybe it hasn't. I shall. Regardless of the game, it shall be posted on the Facebook page, so everyone will know, and we'll know by then, hopefully.
And I was completely off. Dota Crusher versus Sorrow tomorrow, 16th of January at 7 PM. I will hopefully be there. I know JD will, and I cannot wait to see it.
It's going to be ridiculous amounts of fun. Hopefully we will all see you there. I am Just Delicious signing off, and this is my co-host of the beautiful and delicious and wonderful Vague Raconteur.
Who is still making a mess of this, but at least we have the beautiful Jamie to properly cover things. It's been absolutely wonderful broadcasting and wonderful seeing this. I've loved it, and I cannot wait to see how Jambo play this Tinker throughout the rest of the tournament, as I hope you can't either. As I hope you can't either. It's been lovely to see you all. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun.
Goodbye.